In Thessalonians, the church is told to give thanks in all circumstances. Then again, in Colossians, they're told, be thankful. Whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Well, Thanksgiving is coming our way. It gives us an opportunity to think again about just how important it is to be grateful. Gratitude is something people do not talk much about, but they need to, because gratitude may be one of the most important things in life. To start out with, gratitude is a feeling. Gratitude makes us happy. There are so many things to be grateful for. Yes, big and small, sunshine and mountains. And why is it that so many people have so many videos on YouTube of kittens and puppies? Because there's little things that just make us happy. Places and people that give us a sense of joy. For these experiences, there are different states of gratitude, feelings of happiness. Karl Barth said, joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Now, for many people, gratitude is a state of quiet calm. I think that sounds beautiful. It's just not my experience of gratitude. Personally, I like the kind of gratitude that manifests itself in big bursts of unexpected laughter. I love those unexpected bursts of laughter, except when milk comes out my nose. My gratitude's like that radio announcer who used to say, turn it on, tune it in, turn it up, and tear the knobs off. Or Remy, who said, gratitude is wine for the soul. Get drunk on it. If there's one movie about gratitude, it is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. At the end of the movie, Ferris looks straight at us and says, I said before, I'll say it again, life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it. Gratitude. Gratitude like that at that level, it's beautiful. It's a once-in-a-while sort of thing. It's fairly fleeting, then it's gone, but it's good while it lasts. But there's another level of gratitude that I want us to really think about, a gratitude that's much deeper. Gratitude is a habit of being. Gratitude is a habit which we practice often enough that it becomes part of us, part of our character. When we become grateful at this level, I think gratitude becomes a catalyst. It's like a chemical reaction where you add one element to the mix and everything changes. A catalyst that changes the chemical partnership among the elements. A gratitude that transforms for us mind and spirit within the self and relationships with other people. There are some people who are catalysts. Like when a football team's lagging behind and the coach puts in another player with infectious energy, and all of a sudden the whole team plays better. And yes, maybe I'm thinking yesterday of the game from the University of Nebraska and Penn State. University of Nebraska went in with a record yesterday of 0-3. So yesterday the coach sent in a new quarterback, and it was catalytic. The team got all excited, and they actually acted as if they could play football, at least for the first half. Gratitude. Gratitude is catalytic because it comes along and releases energy, and everything changes. Gratitude gives us energy and hope and joy and laughter. Of all the elements that we can add to the mix of life, gratitude may be the most important. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life and helps you to take the story of your life and truly open the book and actually enter into that story. Looking through eyes of gratitude changes what we see, because when we look through eyes of gratitude, we see more and we see differently. It's like before we had just been looking through binoculars, but with gratitude, we look through the Hubble telescope, and there are universes of possibility that open up before us. Winnie the Pooh has Piglet, in it, and Piglet says he noticed that though he had a very small heart, it could hold a rather large amount of gratitude. Gratitude is something that every human being can have, and gratitude changes us. As we practice being grateful, it changes us. The famous Dr. Patch Adams says, "At age 18, I made up my mind to never have another bad day in my life. And I entered into an endless sea of gratitude from which I have never emerged." Gratitude, practiced often enough, becomes part of ourself, our character, of who we are every day. Modern psychologists have started researching what gratitude does to people. They've found ways to quantify it and qualify it. And what have they discovered? In particular, 8 things. Number 1, gratitude gives us a higher sense of well-being. Number 2, gratitude makes us significantly happier. Number 3, gratitude leaves people less stressed and less depressed. Number 4, attitude helps people to cope with life's difficulties, large and small. Number 5, grateful people are more open to seeking support from other people. Number 6, grateful people are less likely to engage in dysfunctional behaviors. Maybe you've seen that bumper sticker that says, "Wag more, bark less." Well, psychologists have found that grateful people do wag more and bark less. Number 7, grateful people sleep better at night. Number 8, grateful people are more likely to care about the community around them. Gratitude is truly amazing, and they can quantify what it does in people's lives. Gratitude's a catalyst because it makes you aware of your power to change the world simply through your gratitude. William James said, "The deepest craving of human nature is the need to be appreciated." And grateful people tell the people around them how much they are valued and appreciated and noticed. Mark Klein Taylor, a Princeton theologian, says that our experience of God revolves around not just accepting other people, but admiring them, truly seeing them and valuing them and being grateful for them. And I wonder, when Jesus says, "Love your enemies," if one way that we can love our enemies is to admire them, to truly notice them for who they are. So let me ask, who can you tell today that you are grateful for their words, for their actions, for their life? I mean, today, who can you tell? Because as Emerson said, you cannot do a kindness too soon, because you never know how soon will be too late. Gratitude is something that needs to be expressed. There's even more deeper meanings for gratitude, more profound levels. Gertrude Stein said, silent gratitude does not mean very much to anyone. Gratitude has to be spoken. Human beings are the only creatures who say and mean the words, "Thank you." Gratitude is part of what makes human life human. Gratitude makes you want to say thank you to someone. But there is so much that we experience when we look at life through the eyes of gratitude, so much that goes beyond just what other people have done for us, so much that goes beyond even what nature has done to us. There's something else out there. Gratitude opens us up to another dimension of reality. You see, gratitude is a pathway to God. The power of thankfulness, when our heart teaches our mind to see and perceive dimensions of the holy, the only one whom we can adequately credit with all the goodness that we experience in our existence, the blessings we receive, the only one that adequately can be addressed is God. Gratitude to God is a pathway to expressing this core dimension of our humanness. The more grateful we are, the more possibilities we see. Now, it's true, gratitude does not make all your problems go away. It doesn't protect you from everything. I want you to remember that great insight. If at first you don't succeed, skydiving is not for you. See, life is not easy. And seriously, sometimes life is exceedingly difficult. But when we experience the reality of God, the love of God can transform our experience of life's difficulties. And when we have fallen into the depths of despair, we discover that God's arms still hold us in the depths. And eventually, lift us out of the pit back up into the realm of the living. God's love never stops. And when we experience that, we see our lives in a new light, and that light can only be truly expressed in a sense of gratitude. I knew a man named Bob. Bob was a soldier in World War II. He fought in the Battle of the Bulge. For those of you who remember your history, you remember that battle was fought in the winter, in the snow. Bob says that winter he hated the snow. It was hard to walk through. It was freezing cold. He was miserable. Bob hated the snow. Then in the middle of the battle, Bob captured an enemy soldier. But the enemy soldier tricked him and shot Bob in the leg. Bob would have died then and there if he would not have been able to stick his leg in the snow. Bob became grateful for snow after that. Bob used to come to worship every week. He'd sit in the first pew every Sunday, and when I'd walk in, he'd give me this big smile, the broadest smile you've ever seen. One Sunday morning before I came into the sanctuary, I was in the back doing whatever it is that ministers do in the back before worship, and Bob was out in the sanctuary, and he convinced everyone in the congregation not to sit in their assigned seats, but to switch sides, just to mess with my mind when I came in. And everybody in the church had these big smiles, just like Bob in. For the first 15 minutes, I was trying to figure out what's wrong with this picture. See, gratitude is infectious, and Bob's grateful life was infectious. Did I mention from that wound in the war, Bob lost his leg? But it never stopped him. It never stopped him from being grateful, from living a life filled with gratitude. His life was rooted in a deep and profound sense of gratitude to God for the gift of his sweet wife, for the gift of his children, for the gift of his church, and for the gift of his life. Thurton Wilder's play, Our Town, has the character Emily. Emily's the daughter of the family who passes away at a young age. But she is granted a brief time to come back and see her relations as if she'd never left. And she does, but she finds that everybody is busy with mundane things in their lives. They're too busy even to look at her. She stands in their midst for one final moment, taking in the wonder of it all and how everyone is missing it. Emily says, "Does anyone ever realize life while they live it, every minute?" Gratitude makes us look around and see the world differently, through eyes that take in the wonder of God, the wonder for the gift of it all. Isaac Walton said, God has two dwellings. God has two dwellings, heaven and the grateful human heart. Gratitude helps us to open ourselves to God dwelling with us. Because gratitude is a catalyst, and living life of gratitude sets us free to be givers rather than takers. Remember the people who have stuck with you all along the way and made your life great. And maybe even remember the other people who have left you along the way and made your life even better. Gratitude helps us to look upon everything with different eyes. There's so many people I'm grateful for that I've met along the course of my life. An old friend sent me a picture this week from our Boy Scout camp days, and there was a picture of our camp ranger, Ranger Ray. Other camps had scout leaders in those days who wore coonskin hats, but Ranger Ray, he wore a skunk skin hat. He brought joy and laughter and a sense of possibility into our lives. I'm grateful for Ranger Ray and the thousands of people he made laugh. Be grateful for the people in your lives. Take time to think of them. Especially take time to be grateful for your parents if you can. Remember that if you were born in middle-class America with two parents and no alcohol abuse and no physical abuse, you represent 1% of the world's population. Be grateful. We owe a debt of gratitude to the generations who have come before us. They have given us so much. They have given us so much. And you know how we can repay the debt? If we take care of the generations who come after us. Gratitude is catalytic because when you throw it into the midst of our existence, life changes. The world's always out there, but we need to see it, and we can only see it through those eyes of gratitude. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a German theologian who changed the world not just by what he wrote, but how he lived. He was part of a group that tried to overthrow Hitler. For his efforts, he was put in a Nazi concentration camp. And he wrote from behind bars before he was put to death. He said this, "I have had a remarkable life. I seem to be in such good places at the right time. If you were to ask me to sum up my life in one word, it would be gratitude." Gratitude is a catalyst because when we are grateful, it changes us to see that what we have is enough, and it sets us free to share in all sorts of ways in our life, in our possessions, in our love with other people. Gratitude is a catalyst, and we need to say how grateful we are to God. And we need to say that we are grateful for one another. So let me say to you that I am grateful. I am grateful for this marvelous First Presbyterian Church of Cleveland that spreads hope and love to so many lives. I am grateful for all of you, and I want to make sure that I say that out loud. You are an inspiring congregation filled with love and good works. Thank you. I am grateful for you all. And I charge you to be grateful. Show your gratitude to God and speak it out loud to the people around you. As we speak our gratitude and show our gratitude, we enhance that sense of gratefulness within us, and we become aware of deeper dimensions of it. Be grateful and be that catalyst of gratitude that God has called and empowered you to be. Amen.
Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to subscribe to get the latest and greatest videos from the Old Stone Church. And if you feel blessed by our message, please go to theoldstonechurch.org and click to donate. God bless you today and forever. The Old Stone Church. We've been loving Christ and serving City since 1820.